what do you think of the project?
I think Artmongers your ideas that you brought to college are fantastic, which is why I engaged with you in the first place. I really liked all the different ways you proposed to animate college. I mean, look at the building behind. You had ideas about projections, which haven't happened yet, but you've had lots of ideas about animating that, which actually we've done a lot of refurbishment along the way in the last year as well. So it all feels part of the developing sense of Goldsmiths as an environment, but I'm particularly interested in the little stage idea, the podium, because it's my field. Particularly because I'm interested, obviously I'm a theatre animal, but I'm interested in theatre that doesn't happen in its normal purpose-built homes. So the fact this little mini stage has been built, and Hannah came up and with this fantastic idea of how to design it and the solution, and it looks fantastic back there. I love it. So I'm an enthusiast of the principle of the whole project, really. And I was particularly proud, I have to say, of the performance by my colleague Andrea Cusumanu. I thought was beautifully filmed and obviously a really interesting recipe. Showed that you could put something quite profound and quite difficult, actually, up in a space like this. You could see from the faces of the people watching, you know, that there was a real, it really drew people's attention, and it was so simple.
Yes.
It was just a simple, very simple idea, completely appropriate for the time and the place. So I think what the podium should be doing is, rather than people transposing work that should be on a bigger stage and sort of reducing it down, it should invite its own sort of work, and that, you know, that makes it a really site-specific venue in a sense.
Yeah. One of the ideas for us to do this was to build up research and experience, and it certainly has done that for us. And now I'm beginning to look at the space as maybe a sort of public square, really, because it is lacking in New Cross. There's no place in the middle of the village where people can actually gather in the middle of the noise, but actually do something. So
it's interesting you call our campus a village, because I think it is like a sort of Renaissance city or something. You know, it's kind of encrusted with different layers of its own history, and it's true there isn't a kind of forum place, and it is a bit like Speaker's Corner or something. On the one hand, you feel like you could get up and give a speech in a sort of rally way there. On the other hand, you could do something that's very visual or musical or physical. So I think just as, you know, it reminds me of the booths. You know, our European theatre began with the idea of these travelling booths, you know, the religious plays. That's about the scale that these booths were, maybe a little bit bigger. It's got that sense of a performance doesn't need to be grandiose, you know, all it needs is attention. You just need to focus attention, and that's what the space does, is it focuses attention.
That was the thing. The theme in my mind was putting art over noise, or working with the noise, and taking the art into a situation, in a noisy situation that we're very familiar with, and making art with that sort of environment rather than isolated.
Absolutely, and I think that's part of certainly what public performance does. I know public art is doing that all the time, but public performance is all about, as I said, you know, you come to the environment and you adapt to it and you reflect it in a way. You don't ignore it. You don't pretend that it's a quiet space. You don't pretend your podium is a, you know, an apron stage such as we have in our theatre. It's not. It's what it is, and the work has to take it into consideration. And that's what I liked watching the video of Andrea's as well, as it wasn't denying its roughness and its kind of urban, noisy environment. It was all of those things.
Do you think eventually Goldsmiths will look at New Cross with different eyes, which was one of the points we wanted to make?
It already is looking at New Cross with different eyes. I think your project helps to do that. The problems are, you know, sort of urban politics problems, as well as, you know, we're odd because we're interspersed all over the local area, but we're interspersed, which is how it should be. I think we need to integrate more. We have a lot of work to do with Lewisham as a borough in terms of bringing young people towards us. That we know we have to do. So I would look forward to projects that perhaps interfaced with some of our recruitment marketing campaigns, for instance, so that the work that goes on is a way, you know, for instance, you had stuff going on one of our open days. We don't just have open days, we have candidate days, candidate evenings, things like that. It would be very interesting to talk about how Artmongers and the Podium and the Crossings project might work with some of those activities where we need to let people know that, you know, this is a good place to be. He's got to bend his knees very
Come on, you're starting? Okay. Okay. We are here. Yeah, we can do that. We can do the beginning. Okay. We're about to start. Okay. Anna, what do you think of the project?
Are we on? You ask me again.
Again. That was good. No laughing, right?